James Stanley coming through to us, hopefully very soon. We're gonna give him a call, but we'll be checking in with him obviously throughout. But for a minute, you will be. We're gonna have to take a quick break, so we'll be back hopefully in a few minutes with James Stanley. This is the Spencer Walsh Radio Network. Your show will return in just 4 minutes.
Pendo on the beat.
Everyone, we are just 15 minutes away from a new round of 8:30 poll closings. So 15 minutes away from the next round of poll closings. Coming to 8:30. It is 8:15 right now. We're going to go again through some of the key races. Unfortunately, James Stanley is not yet with us, and he soon will be. But it is okay. So, because we do have a lot of stuff to get to, obviously. And yeah, so here's what we got. And And we are going to now move. We're going to go to Bill Nelson again. He is still in the Senate right now. We are getting some really a closing lead. We are less than or just around 20,000 votes separating the Bill Nelson and Rick Scott right now. Some of the counties right now are very much leaning red that have come in. Liberty County, that's Gulf County, Bay County, Walton County, and Santa Rosa County. Those have all come in for Rick Scott in a pretty big way, and that is obviously going to serve to even the lead right now. Braun and Blackburn, by the way, in Indiana and Tennessee, the both key pickups that the key holds, should I say, the Democrats need to keep this Senate seat are going to be very, very, very important. So Braun's still up by 15 points. Sorry, now 17 points according to New York Times, 15 by CNN's count. Blackburn now is up by 36. So yeah, the Senate not looking good for the Democrats at this time, and it looks like we may really see what we expect to see. All right, we're now going to go to governor at this point. So we are now seeing that Ron DeSantis by 0.5, and by the way, this is like, again, just a little over 30,000. Ron DeSantis now has the lead over Andrew Gillum in Florida, which is 60% reporting it's going to be a very, very close race, and we're not going to see it till the upper 90s, in my opinion. We're going to see closing, and right now it's just 50-50 between Rick Scott and Bill Nelson on CNN right now, so it is getting very, 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 very tight in both of those states. Pretty much the few places where Gina Raimondo is beating Alan Fung right now in Rhode Island for the governor's race. Richard Cordray is up over Mike DeWine, which is a little encouraging. Texas right now, just barely is blue in the governor's race with just less than 1% reporting. It's not going to stay that way. Greg Abbott is projected to pretty much easily win. We talked to Clara and S'mores about this. She is very much certain that it's going to be this way, and I intend to believe her. Interesting race, though, in Kansas. Laura Kelly and Chris Kobach are very... Chris Kobach, obviously the Secretary of State, he is going to be pretty much counting his own votes in this state, which is crazy. Laura Kelly is up with less than 1%, very, very early voting at this time, as we are now, again, 12 minutes away from our next poll closing, which is very cool. But it's, we're up to that point where things are getting to be very serious. Polls closing at 8:30 in Arkansas. That's not going to be too big, but still. Yeah. And then, of course, 9 p.m. we have a huge more round of poll closings. We got Nebraska, New York, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, and then, of course, 10 p.m. we got people like Nevada, things like that. All right, so, that's just a look of what is ahead to come. And, no really key races in Arkansas. It's a pretty red state, if you didn't know that already. So Tom Wolf is right now in Pennsylvania governor's race. He is holding there pretty well. He's projected to win. And we, right now, are going to, again, the Florida governor's race. That is, let's go deeper into that right now, because Ron DeSantis is in the governor's race right now. He is up 49.7, just by 0.6, 49.7 to 49.1. Darcy Richardson, the Reform Party, getting not much of going to be a very big deal there. And if we look right now in Palm Beach County, Andrew Gillum's winning pretty much all the traditional Democratic areas. Palm Beach by 60%, Broward by 70%, Miami-Dade by 60% as well. And these are all, again, Andrew Gillum areas for sure. St. Lucie County, he's also winning. He's also kind of winning a little bit more. I mean, he's winning about the same amount of blue as Bill Nelson. Sorry, I just kind of went all out there for a sec. But that's right now with 60% of the vote reporting, already 7 million votes in, which seems like an incredible amount. But again, Florida, it's a big group. It's a big bunch of people. Let's just say. So yeah, Charlotte County is. And Hardy and all the center of the state, they're very, very much red at this time. And, we're also starting to see, no surprise, Andrew Gillum is crushing his own home area of Tallahassee, which could be a big deal. That's a pretty red area. I think in 2016 it was a pretty red area. And it's pretty good to have Andrew Gillum out there on the ticket, so they're able to pick up a area like that. You got Liberty County, Calhoun, same areas that we talked about for Rick Scott. It's going to be very interesting. That are going from him are not surprisingly going for DeSantis as well. So it'll be interesting to see if they can hold their lead right now. Ron DeSantis, he is retaking the lead at this time with about 60% of the vote in, but still right now it is very, very, very close. It's most likely a 1% thing. And if we go down to Rick Scott, he has also, by 0.3%, he is also retaken the lead over in Tallahassee, and not over in Tallahassee, in the Senate race, not in Tallahassee. They both have the lead in Tallahassee, pretty much winning identical counties all throughout. And it's literally like, if you look at the Florida maps, they could almost be a carbon copy of each other based on how much they're winning by, and in the areas that they're winning, and with the blue and the red. So they're pretty much performing almost identically, which is going to be interesting, because you have to assume that the people who voted that way, the people who voted that way are voting, like, the people who voted for Ron DeSantis are voting for Rick Scott, and the people who voted for Andrew Gillum are also voting for Bill Nelson. So, yeah, because they're pretty much at this time with 59% of the vote in and 60% of the vote, so pretty much the same amount of the vote in. Things are playing out in the governor and Senate race almost as a carbon copy of each other. And it's a little bit surprising. You would think there would be a little bit more of an excitement for Gillum, but still, there is definitely a little bit more interesting candidate in Gillum, and we will see. We will certainly see about that. So, we're obviously working again on getting James Stanley to come to us, but we are unsuccessful for that. And I think we should be able to get him on actually any moment now if the call actually goes through. But yeah, we're following these Florida races right now, and James Stanley is going to give me a little bit of a break from talking. We're going to get some guests in here, flavor things up. So thank you so much for keep staying with us here on the Spencer Walsh Radio Network for our election coverage. James, hello. What are you making of the races so far? I want to get your take on it. James, are you hearing us all right?
Yeah, I'm hearing you right now.
All right, so yeah, what are we thinking so far of the races?
Well, looking at the races right now, really just a lot of astonishment that I'm seeing right now. Looking at Florida's live election right now, Gillum was actually just reported with only 900 of vote lead in his race. This is just absolutely going to be a close race than I actually thought it was going to be. Right now, right now, looking at live, DeSantis is actually up. It's by 0.5% he is up, so he actually gained. Wow, he's actually up by a lot. He's up 30,000 votes right now, so that gain exploded up. Looking at Texas as well, looking here for the Senate, Texas right now, we got really low numbers in, so I'm not really worried that much about it, but it was only 74% for Cruz, 13% for O'Rourke, but this is only 13% in, so that's not really a race that we should be really watching. The other East Coast race that is Georgia. Georgia right now has Kemp in the lead by a pretty strong margin as well. He is actually up by 14% right now over Stacey Abrams with only 6% reporting. Texas gubernatorial for some reason only has 12 reporting. I don't know why they have 1% more for the Senate race. Must be a typo. But looking at Kansas, that's going to look like a pretty good race as well to watch as well, because right now we got Democrats somehow is up by 2,000 votes, but only 2% are in, so that's also a good race that we should be watching throughout the night. And Illinois has fully confirmed the initial results of J.B. Pritzker is up by 4,000. That took a while for them actually to start announcing results. They were supposed to come out a lot earlier. Massachusetts, Charlie Baker is reported the winner with less than 1%. I don't know how that happened. He only has 3,000 votes lead over his Democrat